In this episode, we will do a deep dive on how to analyze your cloud spend to get a better control on consumption, understand factors causing spend anomalies, and help project for the future. The Analyze feature offers a canvas to help you slice and dice the spend data on the basis of cloud specific dimensions like account, services, tags for Nutanix private cloud and public clouds like AWS, Azure, and GCP. In addition, you can also gain the same level of visibility for a multi-cloud entity like a cost center or an application scope and view the same spend data on the basis of a unified multi-cloud taxonomy defined by Beam. The analysis screen has three major sections to help get insights. The view selector, which helps selecting the scope. The group by tabs, which splits the spend on the basis of selected dimension. And the filter section. We will look at a few use cases of spend analysis in a single cloud environment. Let's say you want to identify the highest spending cost centers on your Nutanix private cloud over the last 3 months. You can do that by selecting Nutanix from the view selector and navigating to the cost center tab. In this view, you can see the list of cost centers with Nutanix resources and their spend over the last 3 months. We can also see a significant portion of unallocated spend, which means that there are some VMs which are not allocated to any cost centers and hence not being charged back. You can also quickly identify the highest spending cost center and the cumulative spend over the 3 months, both from the graph and the table below. The same analysis can be done for other clouds like AWS, Azure, and GCP as well. Let's look at another analysis where you might want to identify the top spending VMs across specific clusters. You can navigate to the Compute tab and Resources, which will provide the list of all VMs across all clusters and their spend. To drill down this view to specific clusters, you can select them from the Filters section. You can then see the report for the top spending VMs over the last 3 months in the selected clusters. For another use case on Nutanix, let's look at how you can identify the spend on VM snapshots in a certain cost center. In order to do that, you go to the Subservices tab. This will provide the spend for VMs and VM snapshot subservices across all clusters. You can then filter the required cost center for which you wish to know the snapshot only cost. Now, shifting our use cases from Nutanix to AWS, let's look at how you can analyze the spend on tax and support across your AWS accounts. You can navigate to the AWS from the view selector, go to the charge types tab to view the overall spend on tax and support. To know the split of tax and support charges across accounts, you can navigate to the Accounts tab and filter by charge type, tax and support. One of the important features of Analyze is the ability to do spend anomaly detection and also help you identify what is causing the anomaly. Beam supports this analysis at daily granularity. If you look at this graph, there is an anomaly that is detected on the 1st of October. You can also drill down to see which services and resources caused the spend anomaly. Using Analyze, you can also get a spend forecast for a selected cloud at an account or services granularity. Let's look at how you can do this for your GCP environment. Projection in Beam works by analyzing your historic daily spend and usage for 150 days and uses them to forecast spend for the future 6 months. You can have a forecast report at a service level and a project level as well. There's a very high level of flexibility on the filtering capabilities. For example, you can get a spend report across all your Azure subscription, excluding the virtual machine service. There are multiple reporting capabilities like share, schedule, or download to consume the reports generated from Analyze. For example, you can schedule a weekly report on daily spend for a particular tag. Most of the analysis we just saw helps you run a similar set of analysis for multi-cloud environments like cost centers and scopes. For example, you can define a cost center with multiple clouds, and selecting the cost center view from the view selector will provide the same slicing and dicing capability specifically for the cost center. Once in the multi-cloud analyze view, group by accounts will provide spend details across clusters for Nutanix, linked accounts for AWS, subscriptions for Azure, and projects for GCP. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for more videos next week.